This episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates, ang realtor na patok.
When buying or selling your home, call Leo Bato. He has years of experience in real estate, showing honesty and integrity in every transaction. He's a person you can definitely trust. So book your appointment with Leo Bato today by giving him a call at 818-648-4837 or by visiting him on the web at www.leobato.realtor.
This episode is brought to you by ABA E-Services.
And the podcast will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, live at Paco's Place, Kevin Undefined. What up, Kevin?
What's up?
How long have you been here?
3 days, 4 days.
How'd you find LA? You're from the East Coast, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, hanggang doon lang po mga kaibigan ng aking English. So, anong pinagagagawa mo rito sa LA?
Kasama po ako
3 inches away yung mic mo para marinig maganda mong boss. Hindi, lapit mo yung mic mo sa'yo.
Lapit ka ba?
Oh, lapit mo pa. Yan. Okay.
Alright. So we're here for the December Avenue Zacta Budlo tour.
Okay.
Actually, tatlo kaming front acts galing sa East Coast.
Why do you say front act?
I guess ever since I started with the music scene, that's how we were labeled.
Paano ko palitan natin ng up and coming? Tatlo po kaming up and coming.
Yes, that sounds better. Yes. 3 up and coming stars.
Why not, right?
Yes, correct.
Diba, kasi para sa akin, at saka ang maganda, yan si Zach, at saka ang December Avenue, very generous sila sa mga up and coming artists.
Yes, very.
As an up and coming artist, anong pakiramdam na kasama mo itong isang Zach at isang December Avenue? Was it more matataray sila, suplado sila, or was it different?
Well, with December Avenue, actually may history na kami before. Na-meet ko sila sa Pinas when I went to watch one of their gigs. And then, nung 2019 US tour nila.
You watched their gig?
Sa Pinas.
So, paano kayo nagka-history nun? Ikaw lang ang nanonood ng gig nila. Did something happen? Tinawag ka ba nila? Nagkakwentuhan ba kayo? What happened?
Hindi. So, di ba, pumunta kami sa venue.
Yeah.
So, di alam ng pinsan ko na kailangan magpa-reserve ng ticket. So, yung nangyari, nakahintay lang ako sa stairs. Like, tatlo kami. Ako, pinsan ko at asawa niya. Doon lang kami sa hagdanan. We're waiting for yung sino naka-reserve na hindi dumating. We're gonna take their ticket.
So, kumbaga waitlist.
Yes,
okay.
waitlist kami. And then, actually, I think it worked out for the better. Like, kumbaga, parang blessing in disguise, you know? So, we were waiting, tas nung sinabi nila, okay, yung mga naka-waitlist, we were the first one dun sa waiting list. So, when we went inside, sabi nila, wala na po kaming upuan sa loob ng, because it's like a clubbish kind of setup.
Ano yung venue? What was it?
Havana Club.
Okay.
Sa
Makati?
Las Piñas.
Las Piñas, okay.
So then, sabi nila, siksikan na lang po kayo sa balcony. Sabi ko, okay. We really want to watch them. So, ayun, pumunta kami sa balcony.
Siksikan kayo sa balcony. You're almost 6 feet tall, or are you 6 feet tall?
5'11", I think.
So you're almost 6 feet tall, and you're a big guy, right? So ngayon, was it to your advantage na yung mga kasama mo were not as tall as you or as big as you? At nakita mo talaga sila even from the balcony?
Sakto lang kasi meron na din naman silang mga like bar stools doon.
Okay.
Yeah, so umupo din ako.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now, nagkakilala kayo ng December Avenue doon o hindi?
Yes. Pero, so, di ba may mga up-and-coming artists nag-perform muna.
Yeah.
And then, sumilip lang ako kasi nandun talaga ako sa mismong railing ng balcony. Nakita ko, wait, may malaking tour bus dumating Lumabas, December Avenue. Sabi ko, sige, bababa ako. Gusto ko silang makilala. So, bumaba ako. Sabi ko sa pinsan ko, sige, balik ako kuya. Mag-ahay lang ako. So, bumaba ako. Ayun, nagulat sila, nagtatagalog ako. Palagi naman may mga reaction.
Yeah.
And then, sabi ko, oh, yes, I'm Kevin, ganto ganyan. I love your music. And at that time, I wasn't really taking music too serious.
Seriously. How old were you noong time na yun?
24 na ako. So maybe mga
21.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yan, you know, I got to talk to them. Pero, hindi lumagpas ng usapan, kumbaga. Like, you know, no connection after that. Just, like, I knew them. I talked to them. Yun lang. Then I watched their set. And grabe. Na-touch talaga ako sa set nila.
You know what December Avenue stands for, right?
Yes.
You know what it means, right?
Yes. It talks about how December is the last month of the year.
Which means
It's going into the new year. So it depends on whether you want to keep it or you want to let go.
galing, no?
Yeah.
So
Grabe.
that in itself is already inspirational, no?
Yes.
Yung pangalan nila,
Mhm.
'di ba? Okay, so tapos nakilala mo sila nung tumugtog sila sa East Coast.
Sa East Coast, yeah.
A year later, the same year.
A year later.
Okay, and this time around, were you given an opportunity to be one of the up and coming artists to perform with them, or audience ka na naman pa rin?
So originally, no, I was not part of the lineup. So what happened was, yung manager ko, si Kuya Batas, I met him by wanting to buy December Avenue tickets. I messaged him, like talagang naghanap ako, like all throughout Facebook, like for maybe 2 hours trying to find tickets. Then nahanap ko, add ko yun si Batas. And then nag-message ako, tas sabi ko, oh yeah, I love December Avenue, ganto ganyan. And sabi niya, super fan din ako, gusto ko yung mga kantang ganto. So after that, sabi ko, alam mo kuya, nagko-cover din ako ng mga December Avenue songs. So sinend ko lang yung mga videos ko. Like yung mga tumutugtog ako sa mga Philippine festival,
Right.
Like free events kumbaga. And then sabi niya, ay, malupit to ah. So literally the next week after, it's not the December Avenue show yet, pero sabi niya, oh, can you sing at this event? So kumanta ako, bilib na bilib siya. So ever since then, sinasabi ko sa kanya, oh kuya, can I perform for December Avenue? Da. And then sabi niya, oh, walang space, puno pa yung lineup. So then I guess two front acts.
When he said this, walang space, puno pa yung lineup. How'd you feel? Did it the rejection of excited ka, 'di ba? Parang kilala mo na si Batas. Batas nga pala siya ang tao behind Toggle Switch. So kilala mo na siya. Normally ang nasa, 'di ba? I would think na okay, nagustuhan ako nitong taong to, baka since magdadala siya ng December Avenue, baka pwede ako sumingit. Naglakas loob ka, sinabi mo, Kuya Batas, baka pwede akong sumama dyan. And then sinabihan ka ng walang space eh. Ano naramdaman mo as a 21-year-old?
Actually, I felt like it was okay. Because I believe that perfect things come in perfect timing. And so at that time, I was just like, it's okay, because I love their music, and regardless of whether I'm in the lineup, whether I'm in the audience, I want to support.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what happened after that?
So what happened after that? I guess one or two of the performers weren't able to be part of the lineup. So boom, a spot opened up, and then he messaged me, and he let me know everything, and yeah, and then so. Before the show, actually, because I'm a huge December Avenue fan, all their songs I listened to, even before their first album. And then, so what ended up happening was they were hanging out in one of the other band, Chimonti's basement. And I'm close with Chimonti at that time. That's when I got to get close with them. So they invited me to meet December Avenue. And I was like, overwhelmed, because like those are your musical inspirations.
At this time, did you know that was McCoy playing drums for Chimonti at the time?
Yes.
And alam mo kapatid ni McCoy si Jem?
Yes.
So alam mo na para may first degree of separation ka na sa December Avenue at the time.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it was it was like so over, because it makes you think like, wow, we live in a really small world.
Yeah.
For someone, that is in a local band and performing with the local band, that their brother is
A famous guy
guitarist, yeah.
from a famous band.
Exactly.
Did you guys ever talk about it?
Yeah.
Ako'y, pakilala mo naman ako sa...
Actually, I never tried to be really too pushy, because at the end of the day, I'm the kind of person, I don't like to be annoying. You know what I mean? So I wasn't the kind of person like, oh, Kuya Makoy, pakilala, ganto, ganyan. Like I said, I wanted to wait until the perfect time came.
Okay, now, finally, andun na.
So finally, andun sila. And then, what ended up happening was, wala pa akong kotse nun. So, kailangan ko mag-Uber papunta doon. And the thing about, when I was ordering the Uber, sinasabi ni Kuya Makoy, oh, Kev, bilisan mo because nainip na sila ng konti. They might leave soon. So, sabi ko, oh man, I hope this Uber makes it. So, ayun, nung dumating na yung Uber, tinext ko si Kuya Makoy agad, I'm on the way. And then the whole car ride there, it was like a 20-minute car ride. I'm shaking, like, because these are the guys that inspired me to start.
Your music career, yeah.
And grabe, nanginginig ako sa loob ng kotse. I was breathing hard. And then when I got to the front door, Kuya Makoy opened the door for me. So then, as we're going down to the basement, I couldn't even hold the railing of the stairway correctly because I was shaking. And then when we got to the basement, my outer self was like, "Oh, hi guys," but but inside of me, first time I ever became a fangirl, man. For real. I was like giggling inside, butterflies in my stomach, man. Di ko talaga ma-explain yung talagang nararamdaman ko nun eh. And then
it's very humbling, no?
Yes, very humbling. Kasi not everyone gets that opportunity, to meet their inspirations. And so when I went down into the basement, I shook everyone's hand, ganto ganyan, and I had my guitar at that time. And dinala ko kasi gusto ko papirma nila. And so when I took out my guitar, so sabi ko, oh guys, would you mind signing my guitar? Sabi nila, kailangan mo munang kumanta. So, man, I felt like my heart dropped like all the way down because, they wanted me to sing one of their songs, one of the songs that they wrote. And I can't tell you how overwhelmed I felt in that moment talaga. And so when I took out the guitar and I started playing Huling Sandali, one of their songs, it was my favorite song. And so when I started singing, actually, medyo nabubulol ako. Like, ibang lyrics sa ibang...
At saka nalalamig ka, ninenervyos ka eh,
Oo,
di ba?
nanginginig yung kamay ko habang nagko-chords ako eh. And then, so, when I started singing, ibang lyrics sa ibang parts, but, kumbaga, they didn't notice that. They noticed that I was just, there to show them how much I love their music. And here's the part that really touched my heart that night, that changed my life, kumbaga, forever, is when I sang the last part of the chorus, sumabay sila sa harmonies. Like, I'm singing kahit sandali, tas sila kinakanta nila yung and it just felt like so amazing, And when the song finished, I mean, it's gonna be public, pero gusto ko na talagang umiyak nun. Hindi ako iyak ngayon, pero nun, at that time, gusto ko talagang umiyak. Kasi, their music really inspired me and it really touched me. And for me to be able to present myself as an artist, humbling myself, singing their songs, man, it felt amazing.
That simple gesture that they did, did it leave a permanent mark in your heart na if you ever get to that level, would you do that to your fans?
Absolutely.
Having known how it felt.
Yes. It actually, I'm speechless because, it was just so crazy in that moment. But I think the one thing is, the one thing that I really love about December Avenue kasi is, I followed a lot of their journey, and because these are the guys I base a lot of my music on before. And so, I studied their history and everything, and where they started, how they struggled for 10 years to get famous and this and that. And so, for them to be so humbled that I'm singing their songs, it's like one day I want people to be singing my songs. Like, I just play the chorus, dun, then the crowd sings sumisigaw ang puso ko. Like that was a dream come true, man. And someday hopefully it'll happen to me as well.
Speaking of songs, let's talk about Pangarap. What was the context of that song? Why Pangarap?
I think so. When I wrote Pangarap, when I first started writing it, I actually wrote it the week before the December Avenue show, because a lot of the songs I covered were December Avenue, so I can't sing their songs at their own gig, right? So I said, instead of giving people covers all the time, let me write a song. And actually nahirapan talaga ako kasi yung Tagalog ko, kumbaga, conversational siya, but when it comes to writing and in terms of the depth of words, nahirapan talaga ako.
Sobra.
Yeah, sobra. And so when I was writing Pangarap, I wanted to tell a story, in the song. And so the song, the idea of the song was that there's a guy dreaming, he's asleep, he's dreaming. And so, diba, in the song, it talks about sumisigaw ang puso ko, ikaw pa rin ang ilaw sa dilim. Right? So,
ang ganda ng ang ganda ng play of words, ang ganda ng metaphor, ikaw pa rin ang ilaw sa dilim.
So the reason why it's sumisigaw ang puso ko is because when you're sleeping, you can't physically talk, right?
Yeah.
So sumisigaw.
Not this guy.
He talks in his sleep.
A lot. I think I do anyway.
So yeah, and so the context of the song was, so when you're sleeping and you're dreaming of something that, like love or something, you want it to speak from the heart.
Correct.
So sumisigaw ang puso ko, ikaw pa rin ang ilaw sa dilim. Ang sakit ng dibdib, umaasa pa rin sa'yo. So it's like, even though the heart is speaking, the chest is like hurting because, you're dreaming of something that could have been, but it isn't. Yeah, so that was really the context of.
Who first heard Pangarap when you wrote it? Kanino mo pinarinig?
My mom.
What did she say?
The first, you want to know the truth?
Yeah, of course. No bullshit podcast, remember?
So the first thing my mom said was, "Uy, ang ganda nito, para kanino to?"
Umamin ka sa nanay mo.
Sabi ko naman, it wasn't for anybody really.
Was it really not for anybody?
Yes, that's the truth. It wasn't for anybody. Yeah, I just when I was writing the song, I kind of the way I like to write songs is I kind of like to put myself in different situations, and this might sound like really really real, but I try to put myself in shoes of people like who have been cheated on, who have been ghosted and just left hanging in the dust. And that's where I get a lot of my inspiration from, because I write sad love songs most of the time. So I don't necessarily, actually this is the truth, I never really wrote a song about what I personally went through.
Why? What did you go through?
So what I went through, I guess.
And the reason why I'm asking, before we started the podcast, Tito JJ asked you, is there anything off the table? And you said, nope, everything's on the table.
Yeah, on the table.
So for someone as candid, why are you guarding it sa lyrics ng kanta mo? Why aren't you talking about what you went through?
I think, I think for me, I think I just wasn't ready yet, because there was still a lot of hurt and pain in my heart. And even though I let it go, it wasn't something that I wanted to express in my music yet.
Right.
So yeah, for a while I wrote songs just about other people's experience, telling stories. But actually, the new songs that I'm writing now, I'm starting to incorporate a little more of what I went through. Yeah.
Do you feel that do you feel that expressing what you went through would open yourself up to a lot of vulnerability?
Yes and no. Yes, because a lot of people will know what you went through,
Yeah.
of course. But at the same time, no, because the reason why I started music is to be a symbol of people who went through the same thing that I went through, or who are going through
it. No?
Yeah. And I wanted to be that voice because, when you're going through a tough time, you're going through a heartbreak, a lot of people are not able to speak out.
Yeah.
And I want my voice to be that message, for the people that are going through that.
This episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates, ang realtor na patok.
How was your childhood?
It was really good. I was raised by a single mother.
God bless the single moms, no?
I know. Mama Beth, para sa'yo to.
Amen. Okay.
Yeah. So, just so I can get this out the way, I am half Black American, half Filipino.
No way.
I like. Hindi halata no? Hindi halata.
Di halata.
So yeah, so my dad, I'm not gonna say he's not in my life because he's there.
Right.
But my mom did raise me as a single mother, and
Here in the States, back home in the Philippines.
here in the States, but I did study in the Philippines for 2 separate years.
2 separate years. When was the first one?
Grade 2.
Where in?
Quezon City at Trinity.
Oh, sa Espan, sa E. Rodriguez.
I believe so. I was a kid. I don't remember. But
Okay, yeah.
Trinity. To me, I won't lie to you. I don't remember. Where it
Tapos,
is.
the second one.
The second one naman, grade 5 in Quezon City din.
Sige, anong school naman ngayon?
New Jerusalem School.
Okay.
Private school siya.
Yeah. Bakit? Bakit ka umuwi on 2 separate occasions?
Nung grade 2, to be honest, I'm not sure. I never really asked my mom.
Maybe we
nung-
should get her on the podcast. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
No?
Yung Mama Beth. Okay, so yung grade 5 ka, bakit naman?
Nung grade 5 ako, actually, in-exile niya ako sa Pinas kasi yung sobrang kulit ko. Yeah, like to the point where I felt like I was overwhelming her. So, I guess for me to get disciplined and, get hardened.
Did it help?
Yeah.
Did it help?
Yes, a lot.
So pag nung nasa Pilipinas ka, kanino ka nakatira?
Sa mga kapatid niya, yung mga tito ko, tita ko.
Were they strict?
Very, very strict.
We know the Philippines is, hindi ko naman pwede sabihin hostile environment, pero it is a hostile
It
environment.
is very.
Di ba? Mga Pilipino, mga taklesa yan eh. Walang filter ang mga bibig niyan eh. Right? What was it like growing up? Especially kids in the Philippines? Oh, Lord.
Let's just say
You got into fights.
twice.
Ah.
But yeah, I got a lot of discrimination because, obviously I'm different than everybody else. So,
Right.
I got called Sean Kingston. I got called Barack Obama. Got called a lot of things.
By kids.
By kids, my age, But I also did make a lot of good friends.
Did you keep that smile in spite of the, I wouldn't say ridicule, but the name calling? Because there's nothing wrong being called Barack Obama, right? Pucha, talino. Di ba, presidente ng Amerika dati yun eh. But I mean, of course, it's the manner of how they said it eh. But my thing is, the smile on your face.
I don't think I
Yung
was.
mga audience yan, magkakanta ng Let's Me Know That You Need Me, ha? Mga binuboy ba nyo? The smile on his face, ang ibig ko sabihin.
I don't think it really affected me that much because, when you're young, you don't really care about stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I would just call them names back,
Amen to you, right?
Yeah, So honestly, it didn't affect me. I really enjoyed studying in the Philippines. It's fun.
Sarap, no?
Yeah.
So, bakit ka bumalik sa Amerika?
I think it was. I really think it was because I couldn't stay here for a long period of time. I stayed in the Philippines for 8 months in grade 5, and I think my time limit was up.
Right.
So yeah, I came back to the States. So I did grade 5 3 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you master it?
Alam mo yung yung Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Lahat ng mga contestant dyan, wala sa akin eh. Master na ako dyan eh.
So bumalik ka na rito. Finally, tinuloy mo na. What was your relationship like with your mom? Are you the only child? Do you have siblings?
Only child.
So talagang ang focus of attention mo, nanay mo, at ang focus ng attention ng nanay mo, ikaw.
Yes, exactly.
Where does your dad come into the picture naman?
So my dad naman, so him and my mom weren't together when I was born and everything. But he was there like periodically, like kumbaga checking up on me on my
Nice guy?
birthday. Yeah. Actually, he's dun sa area namin. He's actually a producer. So
Is he still around?
yeah.
You guys get along now? You're a grown man?
Yeah. For a long time though, like sa totoo lang for a long time especially throughout my teenage years, may galit talaga ako sa kanya.
Because?
Because, kumbaga, not even for me, but just for my mom. Kasi, nahirapan talaga siya, to raise a only child by herself,
Yeah.
And doon talaga ako na may galit sa kanya. I don't care if you're there for me or not, but, at least para sa mama ko, but eventually as I grew older, I knew that I could never, kumbaga break out of the shell
Yeah.
if I still held on to burdens of the past. So,
Wait, this wisdom, this epiphany, okay, saan mo napulot yun?
I think sa totoo lang I think really from my mom kasi she's brought me to church ever since I was a kid.
Right.
And so,
Christian church?
Christian
Oh, yeah.
church.
Okay.
So a lot of times, even till now, my mom speaks wisdom on me. And, for so long I was so angry. But my mom, sabi niya, I remember she said, if ako, kaya ko mabitawan yung galit ko, you should be able to as well. So I think that's when I realized like, it's time to let it go and, just move on. So, ayun.
Did you make amends with your dad or you just kinausap mo na lang daddy mo after a while?
So I'm not the kind of person, in all honesty, to really apologize or like make amends. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm more of like I kind of show it through actions. So before when he would text me or before when he would reach out to me, di ako minsan nagre-respond.
Right.
Parang wala akong pake. But ever since I let yung galit ko,
Let it go. Letting it go and all that stuff.
I started to be a little more interactive, meeting up with him in person sometimes, so yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just.
So ngayon may relationship na kayo ng tatay mo.
Yes, we do.
Did it help? It helped, no?
Yeah. Marami din siyang, kasi, like I said, producer siya and talent manager siya dun sa area namin, and he holds a lot of like mga jazz, R&B and soul artists.
Does he know that that you're doing what you're doing? Is he aware?
Yes. Actually, in the past 2 days, pag nagpo-post ako, hina-heart niya lahat ng mga picture, video ko.
How does that make you feel?
It feels good. Kasi, at the end of the day, he is 1 out of 2 that gave me life as well.
Di ba?
Yeah. So
At
it
saka
feels good.
yung ano ba sinasabi ko? Hindi porke wala silang relationship ng mami mo, doesn't mean he can't have a relationship with you and vice versa. Something like that, di ba? So okay, now that yung hurts of the past mo, pinakawalan mo na, and then ngayon may music ka na, nakilala mo na yung childhood heroes mo, ano ngayon ang susunod na gagawin mo?
I think the next step is pursuing the dream talaga.
Which is
to ayun nga, be the symbol of my music sa Pinas. That's really where I want to be in terms of my music. So actually may plano ako to go to the Philippines in September para mag-record ng album ko with Buddy and Rames of E-Heads.
Galing, no?
Yeah.
Nice guys, right?
Yeah, great guys. Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
I always have a saying that you can never be ready, but you can always just go into it. Not ready, but you can just accept it, kumbaga. Because I mean, you're never ready for your life, you know.
Right.
So you just have to take it as it goes.
There are people out there, right?
Mhm.
And they're not even mixed race.
Mhm.
They're just insecure.
Mhm.
And insecurity is real,
Mhm.
right? Like yung iba dyan, may marka lang dito, napintasan,
Mhm.
umiiyak na.
Mhm.
That's okay. And like what we've been doing since a while ago, we're ignoring color, we're ignoring race, we're ignoring everything.
Mhm.
But as much as we ignore it, there are people to whom what we are trying to ignore is very real to them.
Mhm.
And you've experienced that. Sabi mo sa Philippines, you were ridiculed and all that stuff
Mhm.
back home. Advice to people who are going through some of the stuff you went through. What can you tell them?
The way I see it is, none of us can ever be perfect, no. But if you have a dream and you have a craft, do it regardless of what people say. You know, even though, like for example, for me when I sing on stage and everything, a lot of insecurities go through my head. A lot.
Really?
Yeah. Yesterday when we performed in the Vermont in LA, sinasa Kuya Red, nasan ka? Ay,
Ay, si Kuya Reddy.
Kuya Red, alam niya kahapon nanginginig talaga ako. I couldn't even walk up the stairs like without shaking. And you know, I was like sweating and gusto ko nga mag-throw up eh. Sa totoo lang, I wanted to puke because 1,600 people, I
Yeah.
mean, you know, that's the biggest crowd I've ever been in front of. But I think as soon as when I got on the stage and I was setting up, when I started playing and everyone cheered, I think that's when everything went away.
Look at Chelsea. Chelsea's going, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Kinikilabutan ako.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, my message for everyone that has insecurities, no matter what you look like, it really matters what's on the inside. And if you portray your love and your kindness to people, they'll accept you for who you are. Thank you.
So ngayon, magtatrabaho ka kasama may possibility na sila magpo-produce si Buddy at saka si Rames ng project mo, right?
Correct.
Very, very good people. Midas touch yan eh. Whatever they touch, lahat halos talagang lumilipad eh.
Mhm.
Are you ready for that next chapter in your life if that comes your way?
At first, I was nervous and kahit sabihin natin unsure. But when I sent the first demo of before we went on tour, I sent my first demo to Rames and he really loved the song. Syempre may constructive criticism, but I'm the kind of guy I'm willing to accept that, you know, because they're legends. I'm new into this game.
I know, right?
So, you know, I'm willing to take all the criticism, but the fact that a legend in the industry can appreciate my song.
Even took the time to listen to it.
Yes, exactly. It just blew my mind, you know, and it was just like I think for me the thing I look upon people is the little things, you know. So for example, when I sent the demo, couple days go by, no reply. Then nag-reply siya. Sabi niya, like he was just asking for like, you know, this and that for the demo and yung lyrics. And so when I sent the lyrics, you know, nag-reply din siya, and then I sent the chords over. So for me, the one thing about me as a person is everything in this world doesn't matter to me except for time. If people are willing to give time to me, you know, for me that's more than enough. You know, even though I don't have all the money in the world, you know, if like for example, if I go on a date, right? And I take a girl out I won't let her pay. And a lot of people ask me like, oh, why don't you split the bill? Da da da. Well, because for me, that girl could be out with her friends or in bed watching YouTube or Netflix, but yet she's out with me, spending her time that she'll never get back with me.
Right.
And that goes the same way with whatever relationship, whether it's professional or, between family, friends. As long as people give me their time, I'm willing to give them everything.
Are you in a relationship?
No.
Are you ready to be in a relationship?
In a way, yes.
What if the relationship comes, tapos the music comes? Is this the right time? Do you think, sabi mo nga, diba, everything has a perfect timing, right? Would it be a hard choice if the one comes along and then the plane ticket to the Philippines comes along? Hypothetical, ah.
Hypothetical. Honestly, I don't think so, because for me, there was a point in my life where I had a lot of kumbaga hardships,
Explain.
So for a while, I had a lot of worries, like, financial, a lot of anxiety about where my music would go.
Were they real hardships or hardships in your head?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe I was a little bit overreactive.
Okay.
But everyone's different, So regardless of how big or small it was, it still hit me. And it hit me hard, But if two blessings like music and the one come together, if I can endure a bunch of hardships, why can't I endure two blessings? So yeah, that's how I see it.
Ganda.
Yeah.
Ang ganda nun.
Songwriter eh.
Yun, speaking of that, now, sinabi mo sa akin kanina, you're ready to open those gates of of your own personal experience. Are you really, really ready to open it?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
So what was stopping you lang before? What was stopping you? Dahil may galit ka pa? Or dahil feeling mo hindi pa lang time para i-express yung totoong napagdaanan mo?
I think for me, I was holding on too much to the past, because I had a childhood sweetheart, like in my early teens, and then when towards when I was a senior in high school, I had another love of my life, and I think that one really hit me hard because it was my fault. Sa totoo lang, the reason we ended.
It was your fault.
Yes.
Does she know it was your fault?
Yes, of course.
Sinabi mo talaga? O ngayon mo lang sinasabi na it's your fault, it was your fault?
Well, I'm the one that let go. So, I guess it was my fault then, right?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's okay. Na-realize mo na fault mo, tapos?
And then, I guess later on I regretted it.
Ba't di mo binalikan?
So, we did, but then, I guess sa kulit ko, at that time, I let her go again. And then, when I wanted to go back again, it wasn't there anymore. And I really felt like it was the right person, but at the wrong time of life. Because if I would have had her now, it wouldn't, the relationship would have been better because dati isip bata lang ako eh.
I was gonna ask that part. Masasabi mo talaga sa sarili mo, you're only 24. Masasabi mo talaga sa sarili mo na nag-mature ka na?
Absolutely. Yes. Because...
Do you know when it started?
I think, actually, it kind of was in levels. So when I turned 18, that was the time when I kind of realized, like, okay, you're a man now, you have to, step up your game a little bit.
Right.
And then, as years went by, I don't think I fully matured really until I turned like 22. Yeah. So, now, even till now though, I think I still have room to improve in terms of maturity, but, I still know how to carry myself, in a right way.
Do you still live at home?
Yes, with my mom.
Now, Filipino culture, that's ingrained in you, right? What's the plan with you and Mama Beth? Are you gonna move out? Are you gonna take her with you wherever you go?
So actually, open to So
Of course.
for 1 year, I actually did move out. But for personal reasons, I won't explain.
This episode is brought to you by ABBA e-Services.
So I did move out, and that's actually the time. Remember, I said I went through a bunch of hardships.
Yeah.
So that was the time that I went through a lot of hardships, and then after that, me and my mom we're good now. So nandun ulit ako sa mama ko.
Oh, wait. You, shortcut mo yun. You and your mom, you're good now. Paano kaya naging good now? Sabi mo nga, hindi ka nagme-make amends. Puro ka lang si action, di ba?
Yeah.
Sorry sabi mo, ma'am, ano pagkain dyan?
Actually, no, it wasn't like that. Because I guess I get it from my mom. Yung kumbaga like yung konting sense of pride. Yung dalawa. So
Dalawa pa kayo.
yeah. So,
Patigasan yan, di ba?
yeah. So what ended up happening was
When you moved out, when you moved out, may trabaho ka nun?
yeah,
Okay.
meron ako. And then so actually I got sick with COVID for like 3 weeks, I think. And
Did you tell her?
she found out, but not through me. That's
So,
how
talaga matigasan kayong dalawa, ha?
yeah, that's how prideful I was, But then
Okay, so she found out.
she found out, and actually hindi siya nagalit eh. And
But
I think
when she found out, you were still in COVID or you were done with COVID?
I was just starting. That's when I just found out of COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. And then
What did she do?
she brought me like, groceries and everything that yung kumbaga yung motherly touch,
Nahiya ka sa balat mo nung
Oh, sobra.
para kakapal na mukha ko.
Actually, hindi naman yun.
Oh,
Okay, sabihin na konti. konti lang.
okay.
But
Iba, no? Iba ang magulang, no? Okay, so tapos nagdala siya.
and then I think dun ko talaga na-realize like, talagang mahal na mahal ako ng mama ko. And I think also that's also when a step of my maturity kind of went up as well. Yeah.
And it's nice because sabi mo nga, you show it through actions, di ba? And what your mom did was gave you a perfect example of how to make amends by showing it through actions. Did it leave a big impression in your heart, her gesture, knowing that her only son had COVID and talagang hindi niya tiniis, talagang pinuntahan niya at pinagbilan ng grocery? Did it humble you?
Absolutely. And I felt like, a couple months, like maybe like 4 or so months, she wanted me to move back to the house. So,
Okay, wait. Maganda yan. Kasi dalawang taong may pride. Di ba? So, pinila ka ng grocery, gumaling ka na,
yeah.
siguro naman nag-thank you ka,
Yes.
pero hindi mo pa rin sinabi sa nanay mo na uwi na ako.
Yeah, hindi. And then, we were just, actually it was paunti-unti eh. We would start off,
Kinikilig ako sa kwento niyo.
so, paunti-unti, she would invite me for dinner sa apartment niya. Then I would go
Ikaw naman, tuwa ka naman. O, teka,
Oo, sobra. Grabe.
Iba ang luto ng nanay, no?
Sobra, grabe. Alam mo, nung nakatira ako mag-isa, nung una, talagang fast food talaga. Like yung mga carry out, ganun. But then, I learned how to cook some dishes, but, wala talaga yung mama's cooking,
Okay, so nung una kang tinawagan ng nanay mo para sabihin ni Mama Beth na, halika anak, kain ka muna rito. Ano sabi mo?
Man, sabi ko, ang sarap ng tocino.
Did you?
Grabe. Oy. Ang sarap. Sobrang sarap ng tocino. Yung lang kasi, yung mama ko nagba-brown rice kasi, doon lang ako na bad trip.
White rice boy ka ba?
Yeah, white rice boy talaga ako. Ayoko ng basmati, ayoko ng brown. Gusto ko lang
white rice.
White rice, strict dyan.
Okay, so nagsimula sa patikim-tikim, di ba? Ayan na. So, pakain-kain. And then you had to say, would you spend the night or sasabi, okay, mom, gotta go?
I would say I gotta go.
Okay. Okay.
So umuwi pa ako. And then like I said, paunti-unti, and then she would ask me to hang out. And like I said, no matter the person, if they're willing to take time out of
Right.
their life for me, I'm willing to give mine in exchange. So we went out, we would eat, we would just talk, and she was never pushy, kumbaga. She would always just ask me how I'm doing, and I think that was really a big thing for me because I'm not the kind of person that I like to be forced into things. I hate it. I like to do things at my pace, except with music. I have.
Yeah.
There's always deadlines.
Oh hell yeah.
But in terms of my personal life, I don't like when people push things on me. But I really think it was really strategically planned out. And
Matalino talaga nanay mo.
sobrang talino. And
So how'd she close you? How'd she get you to move back home?
she just asked me, and I agreed. Because at that time, a little bit, like I said, I leveled up a little bit more maturely, and yeah, so I realized, okay, yeah, and at the same time, I wanted to be there with my mom.
Did the misunderstanding with mom, reconciliation with mom, did they happen before a reconciliation with dad? What's the timeline?
No, after.
After.
Yeah, I
So nagbati na kayo ng dad mo, tapos nag-away naman kayo ng mom mo.
yeah, me and my dad, we made kumbaga amends like
Years
ago, maybe when I was like 15, 16, something like that. Like high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just when my mom asked me to come back, I agreed because, my mom, I'm her only child, and my mom isn't young,
Right.
and God forbid, but you never know how much time you have left with your
Again,
loved
time,
ones.
di ba? Like what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
And I want to spend as much time as I can with my mom, so ayun, yeah.
You're a young man.
Yes.
You're young enough to be my son. As in, ganyan.
Papa Pax?
I know.
There you
Papa P
go.
na lang, no?
Papa
Okay. So, and naiisip mo lahat to. I know people who are in their 30s up to their 50s who will put their mom or their dad in the back burner and not give a rat's eye kung anong nangyayari na sa kanila. Kasi tama yung sinabi mo eh. We don't have all the time. They don't have all the time. Diba? Nasa huli ang pagsisisi, so to speak, right? This maturity that you have, and you're not imposing, you don't want stuff to be shoved down your heart or your mind. Gusto mo at your own pace. When you see people your age or even older who kind of take their parents or their loved ones for granted, do you step up and speak up, or do you just let it be and tell yourself it's none of my business?
Well, I don't really have anyone in my friends group.
Or maybe hindi ka lang aware.
True. Maybe I'm not aware because I'm not into everyone's super personal
There you go.
life,
Yeah.
So I can't correct what I don't see.
Correct.
Right.
But you know it exists, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't know how people could do that, because even for me, even if, or let's not say if, when I become famous, the first
Amen.
thing I want to do is I don't even want to get anything for myself. I want to build a house where my mom can retire. That's my first thing, and that's my promise to myself, My first check, my first big check, bili ng lupa agad, get to work, build my mom's house, malaking kitchen, then get her a car, and then, whatever she wants, and then dun pa lang ako magsispend para
Parang
sa akin.
single mo, no? Parang pangarap, no?
Yeah. Parang goal siya,
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, and I don't want my mom to be put in a
Nursing
retirement home or anything, you know. Even if I'm not the one to take care of her, if I'm on tour and everything, I want her to be with family, you know. That the first house I'm gonna build, it's not just so my mom can live alone. It's gonna be for the whole family, you know, my family sa Pinas. Because I know that's her dream to retire in sa Pinas with the family. So, and open up a bakery. So, those are a bunch of things on my list.
Galing mo, Kevin. Anong advice mo sa kabataan ngayon who take their parents for granted?
I would say
Talk to them.
I think the one thing that the young ones need to hear is, especially the ones that don't pay bills, the ones that don't buy their own clothes, their own shoes. You know, your parents work hard for that money and they're using their hard-earned money for you because they love you. And don't treat them like they're nothing, because they should be everything to you. So the one thing, and like I said, you never know how much time you have left with them. So cherish it while it's here, while it's there. Because I have friends that from an early age lost both parents. And even though they might have foster parents or they might have friends and other family, you know, the love of a mother and a father, you know, are never replaceable, no matter what anyone says. So, ayan, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Undefined. Galing mo!
Thank you.
Please don't forget to subscribe to Kevin's Spotify page and even Facebook page and social media pages. We'll put it in the link. We'll put the links in the description para makita niyo lahat yun. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man.